Hi everyone, this is Nibiru Watcher. It is October 14th, 2016, and I'm going to show you an old video that I had made revealing the cloaking system over Australia using time-lapse, and clearly you can see these ring systems. And now, I just want you to show you this first before I show you what I just captured this morning, or 9:30 at night in Australia. Okay, so you see these rings, this lens system that cloaks our planets by changing the focal point of this light. And okay, so let's get into it. So here, some pretty breathtaking videos. This is over in Jandakot Airport. I hope I pronounced that right. It is the northwest facing camera. It is 10:27 at night. The sun has long set 4 hours ago. So what are we about to look at? Yeah. Well, I'll try and take my time with this one. So it's a cloudy, foggy day on this airport. This appears to be a light source, some kind of probably to light up the airport for the pilots here. So let's go back in time and see the progression. Yeah. Well, there we go, folks. I believe what we're looking at here is the nemesis star that appears on the horizon and then gets eclipsed as its four rotating bodies and their rotating bodies in this entire orbiting system. So let's zoom in on each one of these. First of all, what the heck is that, right? It looks like a death ray coming from this planet. Well, keep in mind, this is a projection looking through a lens system, like I just showed you. So everything's going to look translucent and holographic in nature. You can see things through it. But let's keep going. We go back in time here. I'll take my time with each one, exposing this lens system here. That's a projection of the planet itself. And sometimes it's a projection, or is it an out of focus planet? How about that one? Is that what they're hiding? Well, let's keep going back. And now we can see a much better view of this lensing system that pulls it out of focus so you can't hide it. If you haven't seen that before, please go back and watch my cloaking planet video and how easily this is done. It's not actually that high tech. So again, want to look at this thing. These are lenses that are merely bending light. And I gotta ask myself, what is this round thing? Looks like some kind of magnetic distortion. And let's keep going back in time. It appears for a second, and now, again, we're going back in time. So this object, keep going back, appears and disappears. Okay, so here we go. Should even show you the whole time loop here. Suddenly appears and then gets eclipsed and then reappears again. And look at this. I got to zoom in on that. So it kind of looks like the same thing, but the actual planet. This here, I believe, is what is eclipsing the nemesis star. As nemesis is coming in on our ecliptic, very hard to catch anything that's coming in on the ecliptic plane. And as we keep going back in time, we can see again, look at that. Now that should be looks like the excuse me, the plasma-like fingers you would expect that this thing is. I've heard reports of people seeing the moon and the squiggly lines, but this looks like the plasma shadow. Again, these are all projections from the lens system now. It is now eclipsed this planet. So we can keep going back in time. This eclipse there is probably the best shot I've ever seen when, so we go back in the entire time loop here. Just hang with me on a second here. Okay, so here, 1026, we get this intense beam of light. Was that a plasma discharge between the planets? Very well could be. Maybe that's what's lighting this whole thing up. And why does it only appear? And by the way, that was a very brief shot. Look at that thing. 1027, 1026. So very short burst, and it's gone. That was less than a minute. If you want to do your own time lapse, I strongly suggest when you use Stream Recorder, hit the refresh button about every 10 seconds for the best videos. Because if you use theirs refreshes every 112 seconds or 115, something like that. Oh, whoops, let me go back here. Now it's a cloudy day here, so of course we're going to see the clouds intermittently. And again, let me zoom in on this shot. Well, let's look at a straight view of the Nemesis star itself through the lens system. And it appears to be plasma reacting on this thing. Kind of what we saw in my Thunderbolt project. Not my project, but the Thunderbolt project. Where we saw those spider-like fingers and the wheels that we've seen on all the artwork. And let me see. Let's see. I'll get back to that in a second, explaining what the ancient people saw. What we can't see here. Oh, here we go. Did you see that? Look at the advancing. Look how the plasma moves along this planet. Now, we're not looking at the planet, we're looking at the lens, but we're watching the projection like a movie. So, and the fog is the backdrop it lands on, so we get to see this. So sometimes the chemtrail fires back in their face because we wouldn't see it, but since it acts like a nice backdrop, one day they're going to project aliens on this thing one day, very soon. Let's, you see how that, wow, how it moves upon that. Amazing to just brush over. This is, I want to take my time with this one. And again, we can see the translucent lenses here, or the lenses that produce translucent images of our planet. And again, I gotta zoom in on that thing. Kind of looks like a sun to me, don't you think? I mean, what else is that thing? Yeah, I'm sure the trolls are going to have very imaginative minds. Try and come up with this one. And look how it gets eclipsed. And look how bright that is. And again, all happening within a single minute. The stuff is moving, and it moved quick. You would have missed it. It probably would have been almost a flash in the sky. This whole event happened in a matter of minutes. So here we can see. Just look at that. I mean, doesn't it look like plasma reacting? Right here from this hot spot. Huh. What is this, our out of focus planet over here? See how it moves? Spots in the lens? Yeah. I want to waste my time arguing that one. Okay, so I think we played this one pretty good. I would like to show you something else and explain another phenomenon we're seeing in our skies recently. And that is... okay, so I captured this just barely a week ago in Southern California, and here we have what the government would like to say this is a normal sundog, but I totally reject that. See this intense bright dot here? Let me pause right there. So what happened here was we had a beautiful sunny day, but only as the sun set, they started chemtrailing this cloud, which allowed a backdrop here. And I would expect this thing to get brighter and brighter. as the sun, what happened? Okay, so you got the lens system here and a focal point. As the sun passed through this point and passed through the lens, it created a focal point, and it looked like it was almost burning a spot in the chemtrail cloud. When they do this, because they'd be seeing a projection of a planet, it's better, looks better to look like a lens flare or something than a projection of a planet. So by spraying this, you're not going to see that holographic planet look, which look basically translucent. Let's see if I can pull up another example over on webcam in Mexico and see this little flare here. That's basically the same thing that would remain a sky. That would have been your sundog, which is really a focal point of this lensing system. So next I want to show you an article that I read in the paper about plasma beams. So let me see if I'll find that. Okay, so here's a news article from the Hawaiian Now.com website. Ancient petroglyphs discovered on Hawaiian shoreline. Now check this out. A pair of visitors, now this was published on August 8th, 2016. Okay, so when it happened was right about that date. Now this is pretty amazing because a couple from Fort Worth, Texas was walking down the beach and they found several Hawaiian petroglyphs to be more than 1,000 years old. Well, that was kind of scrubbed. The original story was they saw a beam of light. And they walked to the beam of light and they looked down and they saw this. Okay, so this is your sanitized version. Yeah, notice they didn't even talk about the beam of light on this one here, okay? But this is the sanitized version of Fox News. Now, this is sandstone that they saw on the beach. Look at these. That's your plasma art. What I find interesting here that this is in sandstone. It looked like someone made it with their fingers and it was in sand. So could the plasma have killed the people that drew the art and hardened it into sandstone? That's pretty amazing. I mentioned in this article that there's no mention of the beam of light in this one. But I'll continue watching this whole video. So there's the clips. There's your plasma art. Okay, now I'm going to show you the original version here. Now, here's the original article that didn't get sanitized by Fox News. Countless tourists have been watching beautiful sunsets, but many have made, let me zoom this in, Lonnie Watson and Mark Levere, a visitor from Texas, discovered petroglyphs believed to be 400 years old, to stroll along. For some reason, there was a beam of light, just a beam, Watson says, per the State Department of Land and Natural Resources. It landed right on one of them, and for some reason, it turned my head, and ended up finding 10 of the images carved into sandstone, stretching over 600 feet of the beach, researchers have found. Notice Fox News left out the beam of light. Isn't that interesting? So, now I got to speculate that here we go again. Nibiru is in its orbit, in its closest approach, and now we're getting beams of light again. So they're here, we've got the beams of light, they're everywhere, and they just happen to land on this spot, which must be something in this beach that makes it very conductive. Maybe something deep underground that draws it underneath. Some ancient technology, who knows? But that's incredible that we have a history is basically about to repeat itself. So that's interesting how Fox News left out. Well, oh yeah, it talks about Fox News here, but it left out beam of light leads couple for centuries old art in Hawaii. Well, what would have fossilized that into place? I mean, looks like someone drew that with their fingertips. Why would it suddenly harden? I mean, if it's on a beach and then it hardens. Very weird. Thank you for watching. Have a blessed day.